In this video we are going to talk about the test for linear independence. So let's say given mm, test for linear independence. Okay, so basically what I meant by this is, let's say you are given some n functions, right? So let's say x1, x2, xn be n solutions of this problem. X prime equals to ax. Clear? Okay, I want to see when are these solutions linearly independent. Clear? So now the theorem says, and let me write down the theorem. The theorem says that x1, x2, xk, they are linearly independent solutions if and only if, okay, x1. So essentially you see linear independence is for all t, right? This theorem says that you don't have to worry about all t, okay, if you just look at one t naught. Let's say there is some t naught for which, if you can show that this problem, one second, let me write it as xn. So they are linearly independent solutions if for any t you just fix one t naught. Okay, for any t naught, these functions are these numbers are linearly independent. Clear? So very easy but extremely important theorem. What does it say? So for linear independence, if you remember, so let me put it this way. If you remember, I want to show linear independence, I want to show this one, right? C1 x1 of t plus C2 x2 of t plus Cn xn of t, this is equals to 0. This should imply C1 equals to C2 equals to Cn equals to 0, right? For linear independence, this should be the case. Now what the theorem says, so this holds for all t in whatever, let's say for now r. So for all t in r, if this relation holds, then that implies C1 equals to C2 equals to Cn equals to 0. Here the theorem says that if these particular x1, x2, xn's are linearly independent solutions, if and only if for any t naught. So you do not have to worry about all the t naught, for any t naught. So once you fix a t equals to t naught, what happens? This is a bunch of vectors. So this bunch of vectors, if they are linearly independent, then x1, x2, they are linearly independent. Okay, so let's look at the proof of this thing. So very important and very useful theorem, because you do not have to worry about all t, just prove it for one t naught and you are done. So let the proof, let x1, x2, xn are linearly dependent solutions. Okay, linearly dependent solution of x prime equals to ax. Clear? They are linearly dependent. So therefore there exists some constants C1, C2, Cn, not all of them is 0, such that summation mod Ci is not 0, I equals to 1 to n. Clear? That is non-zero. And summation Ci xi, this is going to be 0, I equals to 1 to n. So this relation is 0. You can find some Ci such that relation is 0, right? That's the definition of some bunch of vectors which are linearly dependent. Okay, now this should hold for all t. Okay, so this should hold for all t in R. Okay, now at t equals to t naught, then what happens? At t equals to t naught, it means that summation I equals to 1 to n Ci xi at the point t naught, okay, this is going to be 0, okay, and that will imply xi x1 at the point t naught, x2 at the point t naught, xn at the point t naught, this vector, okay, maybe I do not I should not put that bracket over here. So this will imply this bunch of vectors, okay, these are linearly dependent. Let me write it down like this in Rn, okay. Please understand this xi of t, as t varies, that's a function, right? Xi's are function from R to Rn, yeah. But here when you fix a t naught, it's just a one vector, okay, it's never not a function anymore, it's just a vector. So basically what you showed is let's say if they are all linearly dependent, then this x1 x2 xn at the point t naught, they are also going to be linearly dependent, okay. So now one part is done. So let's look at the other part. The other part is this. So let's say that conversely, okay, let's say that x1 x2 xn, they are linearly dependent in Rn for t equals to t naught, okay. This is we are assuming right now. What I will show is then we want to show that x1 x2 xn, they are linearly dependent. So what I am showing here is if they are linearly dependent for t equals to t naught, they are linearly dependent, okay, for all t. That's what I need to show, okay. So they are linearly dependent solutions basically, okay. So how do I show that? So if that is the case, so there exist constants c1 c2 cn's, okay, such that again the same kind of thing, summation mod ci, this is non-zero, and summation ci xi at the point t naught, this is going to be the zero vector. This is a zero vector, right? I equals to 1 to n. Clear? Now see, this is a bunch of vectors, I mean numbers c1 c2 cn, such that at least one of them is non-zero, right? If that is the case, you take all those c1 ci's and construct phi of t, okay, which is c1 of x1 of t plus c2 of x2 of t plus cn of xn of t. So we construct a new function like this, okay. Now this function by superposition okay, by superposition phi solves x prime equals to x, right? Phi solves x prime equals to x, and what is phi at the point t naught? Phi at the point t naught, that is going to be c1 x1 at the point t naught plus cn xn at the point t naught, right? Okay, and that is going to be zero vector. Clear? That is going to be zero vector. So by existence and uniqueness theorem, phi of t is identically equals to 0 for all t in R, right? That is c1 x1 at the point t, cn xn at the point t, that is going to be 0 for all t in R, okay. What you have got then is, you have got that mod summation ci's, they are non-zero. One of the ci's is at least non-zero, and it satisfies this relation. So that will imply that x1 x2 xn cannot be, I mean that implies that they are linearly dependent, right? They are linearly dependent. So therefore it implies that x1, x2, xn are linearly dependent solutions. Clear? So what did I prove? Let us recall again. I showed that if they are linearly dependent, if they are linearly dependent solutions, then if you evaluated it at the point t naught, then they are going to be linearly dependent. That is the trivial part. The other part is this: if they are linearly dependent at one point t naught, then they are linearly dependent solutions. Clear? Okay, so that shows that if you have a bunch of functions which you want to show as linearly independent solutions, then you evaluate that function at a point t naught. So those bunch of vectors, they are linearly dependent. If the original set is linearly independent, then then they evaluated the vectors which you obtain by evaluating these solutions at t equals to t naught, they are linearly independent, and vice versa. Yeah.